It's one thing to break a record for most points in basketball history as LeBron did, and another to set one for the most missed shots like this guy. Some players stick to one team for their entire career. Then there's this guy who got traded more than 10 times. And another guy holds the title for the most blocks from a single game. These are some of the wildest records you didn't even know about in the NBA. Some players are famous for shooting hoops. But what about the guys who forget the one thing they're supposed to do on the court? Like Tim Hardaway. Now, Tim was known for being an excellent scoring point guard, but even the best players have bad days, right? So back in 1991, he took a chance and attempted a record-breaking 17 shots in a game. But not a single one of those shots made it into the basket. This not-so-great moment stayed with him throughout his impressive 5-time All-Star career. Tim even cracked a joke about it. It's a funny moment for a guy known for his sharp shooting skills, with a career average of 43.1% from the field and 35.5% from beyond the arc. But it's not as embarrassing as what Rasheed Wallace did. When it comes to racking up technical fouls in the NBA, Rasheed Wallace is the go-to guy. In his 16 years in the NBA, Wallace practically wrote the book on technicals. He'd have ongoing arguments with the referees, and he wasn't shy about expressing his not-so-friendly feelings towards them. Well, déjà vu. Wallace holds the NBA record for most technical fouls in a single season, hitting a whopping 41. Sure, he toned it down a bit as the years went by, but there was a time when Wallace was racking up a technical foul almost every other night. Refs must have had headaches dealing with him. Wallace swears that his fiery passion was crucial to his success. He became a 4-time All-Star and even secured an NBA championship. So, love him or not, Wallace brought the heat and soul to the game. Speaking of missed shots and fouls, these next two players were a real disappointment. Three-pointers are a big deal in basketball, which is why there's a record for players who missed the most threes. Take James Harden, for example. With the Houston Rockets giving him the green light to rain threes, he went all out. He missed 16 three-pointers in just one game, and missed all of his 10 attempts in another game. Ouch! Even in the modern era where three-pointers rule, Harden had some off days. Now let's rewind to 2005 with Damon Stoudemire. Although he wasn't in the modern three-point era, he sure played like it. In a blowout against the Golden State Warriors, this Blazers guard went all in, attempting 21 shots from beyond the arc. The catch? He only made 5 of them. You know what? Wallace wasn't the only guy who had a lot of fouls, though. What this next player did was even more disappointing. Bubba Wells played just one season with the Dallas Mavericks, averaging 3.3 points and 1.7 rebounds per game. Then, on December 29, 1997, he made NBA history by fouling out in an astonishing 3 minutes. Normally, he wouldn't do more than 3 fouls in a game, but in this game, he managed to beat that big time. Why? Coach Don Nelson used a hack-a-Rodman strategy against the Bulls, intentionally fouling Dennis Rodman, a free throw struggler. Bubba stepped in. 3 minutes, 6 fouls, and 12 Rodman free throws attempts later, and voila! Bubba's memorable moment in the NBA was over. This next player isn't too far behind when it comes to failed free throws. Andre Drummond's free throw adventure was a bit of a disaster. In 2016, while playing against the Rockets, he missed a whopping 23 free throws in a single game, breaking an NBA record previously held by DeAndre Jordan with 22 misses. Drummond isn't exactly a free throw expert, with a career average of 38.5% and 35.5% that season, making him a target for intentional fouls. The Rockets strategically used intentional fouls in the game, pulling Drummond from play after a series of misses. Although the Pistons won, the Rockets argued that the NBA should reconsider some rules. Let's be honest, the game got pretty dull when Drummond was at the free throw line. It's hard to tell why everyone kept passing around this next player, though. Shaquille O'Neal played for several teams as well, but this guy's record is way more than that. Trevor Ariza is the NBA's ultimate globetrotter. This guy has officially set the record by being traded more times than any other player in NBA history. Yeah, you heard that right. 11 trades under his belt. Ariza did have a good run with the Houston Rockets, spending a solid 4 seasons there from 2014 to 15 and 2017 to 18. But the trade winds kept blowing and he found himself in a three-point shooting groove in 2020, hitting 37% from beyond the arc in around 53 games with the Kings and Trailblazers. Don't let the trades fool you, Ariza wasn't just a shooter. He played pretty well on defense, which makes you wonder why he was traded so much at all. Not all the records are about missing points, though. John Wall, the champ of the 2014 Slam Dunk Contest, got an interesting one. Now, this point guard isn't just all about flashy dunks. He's making history with his blocks. In a 2022 game, Wall brought his A game, scoring 31 points, dishing out 9 assists, and grabbing 3 rebounds. What's remarkable is Wall's defensive skills. He notched up 2 more blocks in that game, bringing his total to a whopping 425. And get this, he tied with the legendary Jason Kidd for the point guard with the most blocks in NBA history. Not content with just tying, Wall added 2 more blocks 10 days later against the LA Clippers. Now let's talk about an underrated legend and his record, Fat Lever. Now, usually the top defensive players secure around 2 to 3 steals per game, but Fat Lever took it to a whole new level. Back in 1985, Lever, known for being one of the most underrated players in the league, pulled off a jaw-dropping feat. In just 1 quarter, he secured 8 steals, showing off his insane defensive skills and knack for triple-doubles. Yeah, you heard it right. 8 steals in a mere 12 minutes, and he did it against the Indiana Pacers. And here's the kicker. Lever's single-quarter record is just 3 steals away from a full game record of 11, a feat achieved by both Kendall Gill and Larry Keenan. So even though Fat Lever might not be a household name, his skills on the court, especially in that unforgettable quarter, speak volumes about his amazing abilities. Finally, we've got the time that Kobe Bryant came very close to beating Wilt Chamberlain's record. Happening back in 1962, Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point record in a single game seems unbeatable. For decades, that 100-point mark seemed untouchable. Sure, a few players came close, but nothing quite matched Wilt's feat. Then on January 22, 2006, Kobe put on a show for the ages against the Toronto Raptors. It was one of those games that had everyone in awe. The Lakers were down, but Kobe wasn't giving up. He finished the game with a mind-blowing points tally.
A drink, Mr. Bryant?
Yeah, I'll have a vodka martini.
How many olives would you like?
81.
Yeah, you heard that right. 81. He was hitting shots from everywhere, making it look easy. Even Kobe himself was stunned by what was happening. Not even in my wildest dreams, he said. That was something that just happened. And get this, Kobe wasn't just scoring in bunches, he was doing it when it mattered most. In the second half alone, he dropped 55 points, carrying his team to victory almost single-handedly. His performance left everyone speechless, even the guys on the opposing team. Toronto's Chris Bosh admitted that they were just watching Kobe in awe, unable to stop him. But if you thought these records were crazy as we do, make sure to click on this next video on some of the most amazing mid-range snipers in the NBA.